All right, let's get right into it. We're breaking down the absolutely spectacular rise and the even more spectacular collapse of Sam Bankman-Fried and his crypto empire, FTX. It's a story of genius, deception, and billions of dollars that just disappeared.
Let's kick things off with this quote because, wow, it really tells you everything you need to know about the scale of this mess. This is from John J. Ray III, the guy they brought in to clean up. Now, this is the same man who oversaw the bankruptcy of Enron. So when the guy who cleaned up one of the biggest corporate scandals in history says he's never seen anything this bad, you know you're looking at one of the biggest financial frauds of all time. To really get how this all came crashing down, you first have to understand the myth. The carefully crafted persona of Sam Bankman-Fried, or as pretty much everyone knew him, SBF.
So the story they sold the world, it was just, well, perfect. You've got the son of Stanford law professors, a brilliant MIT physics grad who cut his teeth at an elite trading firm. But he wasn't your typical Wall Street guy. Oh no. He was a follower of effective altruism, this idea that you should make as much money as possible, not for yourself, but to give it all away and save the world. I mean, what a story, right? It was irresistible.
And this is where it gets wild. The gap between that public image and what was really going on behind the scenes, it's just massive. He's famous for sleeping on a beanbag in the office, while his company was secretly buying up millions in luxury real estate in the Bahamas. He went before Congress, talking a big game about the need for crypto regulation, and then in private messages, he literally said it was all just PR. It was a total masterclass in misdirection.
And then, in November of 2022, that whole act didn't just crack, it absolutely imploded.
And the speed, my gosh, the speed of this downfall was just breathtaking. It all started with a single tweet from a rival, the CEO of Binance, saying he was going to sell off his holdings of FTX's own crypto token. That's all it took. It sparked a classic bank run, customers freaked out, rushing to pull their money out. We're talking over $6 billion in just a few days. SBF tried to calm everyone down, tweeting assets are fine, a tweet he very quickly deleted. But they weren't fine. A last-ditch rescue deal fell through, and that was it. Game over. The entire empire was bankrupt.
So here's the bottom line. When the smoke cleared, investigators found an $8 billion hole. $8 billion of customer money that was supposed to be safe and sound had just vanished.
And that, of course, brings us to the central question of this entire mess. How on earth did one of the biggest crypto exchanges in the world lose billions of dollars of its customers' money?
Well, investigators pretty quickly uncovered a scheme that was honestly shocking in how simple and brazen it was. Let's dig into how this deception actually worked.
Okay, here's the playbook. You, the customer, deposit your money into FTX, thinking it's safe, right? Well, behind the scenes, SBF had told his engineers to literally build a secret back door right into the code. And this wasn't some accident or a bug, it was a feature. This backdoor gave his other company, a crypto hedge fund called Alameda Research, a secret unlimited line of credit. It was like a credit card with no limit. So Alameda could just take customer money from FTX whenever they wanted for whatever they wanted with zero oversight. And boy, did they. They gambled it on risky bets, bought lavish real estate, and made huge political donations. You see, FTX wasn't a bank. It was a personal piggy bank for Alameda. And you might be asking, how in the world was this even possible? Well, it's because FTX was basically a corporate black box. There was no independent board of directors asking the tough questions. There wasn't even a real accounting department. They had absolutely no separation between the company's money and their customers' money. It was all just one big pot. It was, just as the new CEO said, a complete failure of every single corporate control you can possibly imagine. Once the scheme was out in the open, the fallout was fast and furious. It led to one of the biggest trials in financial history and sparked this huge debate about the future of crypto itself.
The legal system moved pretty quick on this one. A jury found Sam Bankman-Fried guilty, and not on just 1 or 2 counts, but on all 7 criminal charges he was facing. Wire fraud, money laundering, you name it.
And the financial penalty? Just as massive. He was ordered to forfeit $11 billion. A number that really just drives home the incredible scale of this fraud. And then came the final verdict, 25 years in prison. This sentence really cemented the FTX collapse as one of the most significant white-collar crime cases of our generation. The whole FTX disaster forced regulators to ask a really tough question. What in the world do we do now? And basically, 2 big ideas emerged.
On one side, you have people saying, hey, let's regulate these crypto exchanges just like we regulate banks, with proper audits, capital requirements, real customer protections. But then you have another camp saying, whoa, hold on, this stuff is basically just gambling. Their argument is that it should be kept separate, walled off from the real financial system, to stop this kind of thing from ever causing a bigger meltdown. Let people take the risk if they want, but don't let it infect everything else. And that debate, it's happening right now, and it's shaping the future of money.
But wait, the story doesn't actually end there. What happened next during the bankruptcy process? Well, it produced a result that almost nobody could have predicted. So check this out. It's actually kind of amazing. The new team that came in to clean up the mess went on this insane, global scavenger hunt for the money. They clawed back everything they could find: risky investments, luxury properties, cash squirreled away in hundreds of accounts. And get this, they managed to recover somewhere between $14 and $16 billion. That's way more than the $11 billion that was actually missing in the first place. And the result of all that work is something you almost never see in a bankruptcy this huge. The plan now is for pretty much all the creditors to get back 119% of what they lost. So not only do they get their original money back, they get interest on top of it for all the time it was gone. Even the judge was blown away, calling it a model case for how to handle a total corporate train wreck. So, after all that, the chaos, the trial, and that really surprising recovery, what's the big takeaway here? What's the lesson from the whole FTX saga? Maybe the most insightful and maybe the most cynical takeaway comes from the financial expert Alex Pollock. He basically says that in the world of finance, we see this movie over and over again. A big crisis hits, we make a bunch of new rules, but then after about 10 years, everybody forgets, and the same old mistakes just pop up in a new form.
And that really leaves us with this final, crucial thought. The FTX scandal wasn't some super complex failure of crypto tech, was it? It was just old-fashioned fraud, plain and simple. Just wearing a hoodie and sneakers this time. And it raises this huge question for our time. In this new world of decentralized, borderless finance, can rules and regulations ever really keep up with human greed? Can they actually protect us from the next SBF?